And welcome back to the Midday Show. I am Jeff Everett. He is Mark Messina. A little bit of flooding, some bad weather last night up north. We're going to talk about the U.S. women's soccer pay. There was a documentary just put out about it. It's been going on for 4 years. And I just want to talk about it because I find the whole thing fascinating about what's fair and what's equal. And then we're also going to talk about Quizzo. We're going to challenge again today. We consider ourselves quiz master seniors at this point. Quiz masters of the world.
Just brilliant.
Mark says just brilliant. But first and foremost, before anything else, Mark, how are you feeling today?
I'm ready to flex my intellectual muscle. I look forward to every Tuesday morning or afternoon or whatever it is. And yeah, let's go. I am ready.
Flooding in the northern tier yesterday. If you haven't seen it, you can find photos on NorthcentralPa.com. And also give a shout out to First News Now on Facebook. They also have some good photos and some information on it too. So check out NorthcentralPa.com. Check out First News Now if you're looking for information on the flooding up in the northern tier.
You were up there.
Craziness. Yeah, I mean that's where I'm from. That's my.
But you were there yesterday.
Yeah, I mean I told you before, I've never seen like rain like really this hard before. Like it was pretty bad. But more than anything else, like just the flooding, like in kind of like in different areas, especially around the businesses and stuff like that. There was kind of like in between Covington and Mansfield where like the Napa Auto Parts is and stuff like that was pretty brutal. Different roads and stuff closed off. But it's pretty bad. There was a story out in Roseville. I'll credit First News Now for this because they were the ones where I actually got to read about it. But there was an incident where there was actually like water rescues done like in a trailer park.
Really?
Yeah, I can look it up here in a second. But that was in Roseville, Pennsylvania, just outside of Mansfield. So pretty brutal.
And one of the things about floods that I'm sure that people know, but it really became obvious to me back in the flood of 2011 when things were so bad is it's not necessarily just the rain that's pelting you. Like we got flooded so badly in 2011 because in Binghamton, they got like 8 inches of rain in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
And then all that stuff comes down.
Right.
So it's not just of what is hitting you, it's what's feeding the tributaries that are coming to you.
Yes. Well, some of the worst flooding, like in the Williamsport area the last couple of years, if that's what, are you kind of referring to that? Like a lot of that wasn't because we got rain in Williamsport.
Right.
A lot of that was we had rain to the north up in Sullivan County. It comes down. And
that's why back in 11, up like Pine Creek, the Loyalsock Creek is all over everywhere.
Yeah. And
Pine Creek was actually below its normal level. And they're only a 10-minute drive apart, a 15-minute. But because, I'm pointing the wrong way there. Like Loyalsock feeds from the northeast and Pine Creek feeds from the northwest. And all the storm was over Binghamton. So, it is. It was rough. I didn't know it was that bad because here, we had rain, but the creeks are high. But then you were up north sending pictures down, and it was like, yee.
That was pretty brutal. The other one too that you don't think about is like snow melt. So a lot of times, like even though maybe like Lycoming County or some of the Route 80 counties, even though like they've been in maybe the 40s and there's not a lot of snow on the ground and stuff like that, but what happens is all of a sudden the northern thaws out. And all of a sudden the ice melts and the snow melts, and then all of a sudden it comes flushing down. So all of a sudden, like you have this kind of like early nice spring weather in the south, and then all of a sudden flooding's coming. It's like, where is this coming from? And that's what it is. It's the snow melt finally coming down from the northern tier.
Since you just said that phrase, we're gonna digress here.
Yeah.
When something happens quickly, and we might have discussed this because it's on the board, the phrase "all of blank sudden." All of a sudden.
Yeah. You and I.
What's the third word?
Oh, the third one?
Yes.
All of a sudden.
I have for my entire life said all of the sudden.
Yes, which isn't wrong.
It is wrong.
So I said to you, I don't think it is though.
Grammatically, if you look it up, the official English people will tell you the is not correct, and I've said it my whole life.
Because I think you can say all of a sudden, all of the sudden. And then I do think there is like I don't want to call it like a Pennsylvania slang, but there is the idea of like all of a sudden, like you're not really.
You say it so fast.
Right. You're just.
You take it. But no, grammar wise, because I have people that have corrected me on this and I've typed it. And if you are This is because I went around the office and I asked people, and it wasn't exactly split. It wasn't as split as I thought. But if you go sit down in a bar with 10 people and you ask that phrase, all of a sudden, and what is the third word? Is it a or is it the? It's more split than you think, but grammatically, the is incorrect. And I learned that last week. So, actually, I was told I learned it before, and then I did it again, and they're like, moron, don't you listen to me? I already told you once you're wrong, don't do it again.
Yeah, no, that's good. So as of 10:49 last night, 38 total individuals were accounted for and were being assisted by the American Red Cross as they were removed from the trailer parks up in the northern tier. So the severity, I'm not sitting here saying the trailers were being washed away.
Right.
But, they did have to come in and they had to be evacuated and they needed the boats to help them out. So pretty severe.
It's bad, right in our neck of the woods. And it is funny how it's so close. And you're like, yeah, it's rained a lot. It's wet. But we're playing baseball games and we're playing, and it's not. And then you drive up the road 45 minutes and they're evacuating.
Pretty brutal. Before we play Quizzo today, this is something I find this very interesting. I think it shows how you can, to me, this is something that you can support, but it also doesn't mean that everything is as it seems. There is nobody who loves U.S. women's soccer who is not a soccer person more than me. I know very little about soccer. No, I'm serious. Listen, I don't miss a game when they play in the World Cup. Seriously.
You're just going to lie to all the people.
I'm not. I love watching them.
Ever since Brandi Chastain ripped her shirt off you have been.
And then I was in. Seriously.
You were only a kid.
I was a kid, yeah. Here's my point. There's very few things that I don't know a lot about, but I'm all in when it happens, right? And this is one of them. I know nothing about soccer, but when the U.S. women are going to win a World Cup title, I'm all in. I'm there. I'm in on it.
I'm with you.
Okay. There is a documentary just came out, and this has been going on for a little over half a decade. Documentary came out. It's called LFG, and it's about the U.S. women's soccer team's struggle for equal pay. And they have been promoting it. They have been claiming that they do not make as much as the men's soccer team. There is a whole background.
They've been claiming it because it's true.
Well, so there is a whole background story to this that most people do not know, or there's no understanding of where this comes from. And I am assuming that you are one of those.
I am one of those people.
Okay, so here's where it starts. The very basic numbers are 100% correct. When they get on the microphone and they say that they make this much less than the men per game, they are correct. When they get on the microphone and they say that we do not get the bonuses that the men get when they win, they are correct. But here's the story. In 2015, going into 2016, when they were negotiating their contracts, they were offered the same deal as the men, identical, and they turned it down. They did not want the same deal. And again, the men's contracts aren't great. This is kind of the whole subtle thing to this background story. The men's contracts have no benefits, none, okay? There is no actual pay for being a member. You are only paid for every game you play and then bonuses for when you win. So there is no annual salary to be on the U.S. men's soccer team. Okay. You have to play and then you have to win in order to actually get the full amount of what you want, okay?
Yeah.
The women's team turned down the identical offer in 2015, 2016. They accepted an offer in which they would receive benefits, and the list, their benefits are good. They're good benefits. And then they still receive X amount for playing the game, and they still receive bonuses for what they get. So because I looked this up before we started talking about it, here's a list of the benefits that the U.S. women's team receives that the men's team does not. Okay?
I'm ready.
Okay. The U.S. women's team gets a base salary. 20 players get a base salary of $100,000 a year.
Okay.
Okay. The U.S. men's team does not.
Okay.
11 players receive salaries for 62 to 67. So 31 total players receive an annual salary for the U.S. women's team.
So it's like the top 20 and then the subs. Okay.
They get a one-time signing bonus of $230,000, which the men's team does not receive.
Okay.
There's a ticket revenue share of $1.50 per ticket, which the men's team does not receive. Do I need to keep saying that the men's team does not receive? Am I getting my point across?
You're making your point very well.
Okay. $5,000 bonuses for first place at the She Believes tournament or the Four Nations tournaments, which are just lower level tournaments that they compete in. They get severance benefits, they get injury protection, they get health, they get dental, they get vision, they get pregnancy pay, they get guaranteed rest time, childcare assistance, partnership bonuses tied to increased viewership. They get an annual payment use for their player likeness, so like selling jerseys, things like that. They have a good faith efforts minimum number of games, meaning that the U.S. soccer team has to play so many games so that they get the opportunity to receive the bonuses that they would like to receive. So they can't just say like, oh, we're only playing 6 games, and then they don't get a chance.
Okay, what are the
bonuses? And then here's the last part. They get $250,000 to $350,000 post the World Cup tour. So when they go like city to city, town to town, when they're promoting all this stuff, they get $250,000 to go around and do that. The U.S. men's team gets none of those benefits through U.S. soccer. None of them.
Okay, so how do the men get paid?
Okay, so the men get paid 2 ways. They get paid per game, and they get paid through bonuses by winning those games.
How much do they get paid per game?
I do not know that. It's significantly more than the women. It's more than the women. So this is the point.
But your whole point is they were offered the same deal the men had. They turned it down. Now they're complaining that they don't have the same deal the men had.
Correct. And even deeper than that, their deal is based off of the idea of they're getting all these benefits that the men do not get. Like all of those.
So the men are getting more money, but we're covering healthcare. We're covering this. You have guarantees that they don't.
Correct.
It's the trade-off.
Correct. And that's
a very valid point.
And it was their bargain in 2015, 2016. Now, they lost their lawsuit like 3 months ago, like before this documentary came out. And the lawsuit basically said they're not arguing for equal pay, they are arguing for more. And that's why they lost their lawsuit, because they not only wanted the men's deal that they had already turned down in the lawsuit, they also wanted to keep their benefits that the men's team does not get. So here's the insane part about all of this, and then I'll let you speak. I want them to have those benefits. I hope they get to keep those benefits. That's a fantastic.
Because you are emotionally invested.
Yes, no, because I'm emotionally invested. But not only that, like they're good. They earned them. They should probably I'm not saying they don't deserve to have those benefits. And they probably aren't getting the amount of pay that they should for the amount of winning that they do and how they represent the country. But the argument that they want equal pay is absurd.
Well, yeah.
It does not, their argument does not make sense when they use the phrase that they want equal pay.
Here are my 2 points. Number one, you just wonder who's advising them.
Oh,
like how, because you just explained that to me in 4 minutes.
Yes.
And I just like, okay. They had their opportunity. This is what they chose. This wasn't jammed down their throat. They were like, do you want this deal? Right. No, we want this deal. We chose choice B. Now we're complaining that we don't get A. Yes. And now we want the best of B and the best of A. We want choice C, which doesn't exist.
Choice C does not exist.
It doesn't exist. So yeah, you do wonder who's sitting down and talking to them and saying like, this isn't how it works. The other thing is I'm not a soccer guy, but kind of everyone watches World Cup soccer, especially the women, because the women are always playing for the title and whatever.
Sure.
Would there be a more interesting person to spend a night on the town with than Hope Solo?
No, probably not.
There's going to be a fight. There's going to be police activity.
Sure.
There may be like streaking. Who knows what's coming on with Hope Solo?
Okay.
One of the most, I don't even know how to describe it.
Well, her whole background story is fascinating. She was basically homeless. Like she fought her way through.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was never an elite recruit. Like it was like, it's an incredible story. The reason she acts the way she acts is what she's had to do to get there.
I know that like the day before her wedding, she beat up her fiance, and then there were like the wedding was off, and
this is the other part of it that people don't think about.
Maybe I just rambled that off the top of my head. Maybe I was totally wrong, but there was a domestic violence issue, and she was not the sole recipient.
No,
she was dishing it out. I think as much as she was taking it.
Absolutely. She, I forgot my train of thought and where I was going with that.
Her homeless. She was unrecruited.
So like what a lot of people don't realize, like especially like youth soccer is like a cash cow. So and listen, like there is a pay to play system within youth soccer. So if you are a underprivileged girl, if you're a homeless girl, like if you're like you don't get to play. You're not getting to play. Not on the teams like that you probably should be.
And the thing that's crazy is this is why I've told people, because when we've had this argument and they're like, soccer is the most popular game in the world. It's because it's the cheapest sport to play.
Yeah.
You need dirt and something to kick. And no matter how poor your country is, you have those two things. You have ground and you have something to kick. So theoretically, it should be the cheapest sport to play.
No,
but you're right. It's
created this pay to play system where like the richer, like if I'm a little less talented than you, but mom and dad can afford for me to play on this team, I go and you don't. And that was for her, like that was the whole process up through until finally someone grabbed her and realized like this girl's amazing, everything else. But that like the whole thing about them with like the equal pay, if Rapinoe or Solo, if all of them came out and said like, if they came out and said, we're highly successful and we don't feel like we're compensated for it, I am on board. Where do I sign that petition? But to come out and try to use the men's team, like that is the backbone of why you should be paid more. It's just not true.
No, I'm
like it's not a fair story, and it's being promoted as if it's like, whoa, look at them go. Like yeah, look at them go, but like they're completely going about it the wrong way.
No, I'm with you. And that's why I want to know who's advising them, because it just seems like
it just doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't
at all. And not only that, to have been offered the same deal and then basically go like, well, wait a second, like we want the other one, but we don't want to give up anything else that we received in that deal. Here's the other kicker too. The men's deal is based off of their success. And the worst part for the men is they're not successful.
I was going to say the lack thereof.
Yeah. So the crazy part is if you look at it, like the women get paid more than the men because the men don't win. So you have this crazy story where you have people fighting for equal pay where they're already getting paid more than the men. They turn down the men's deal. And then they're getting all these benefits that the men don't get.
I'm with you.
And everyone's just behind them waving the flag as if like they're right.
No, that's a very valid point. What we should do is we should have Hope Solo on. She doesn't play anymore, does she? She's retired.
You just want to meet Hope Solo.
No, I'd be afraid.
You shouldn't be afraid.
She's like 6'1" or 6'2", and she's bigger than me.
I don't know if she's 6'1", but she's obviously an athlete.
Incredibly athletic. Well, not that they all aren't, but you can't.
Her whole thing, the whole Brianna Scurry thing, when she went in, do you know that one?
I know Brianna Scurry won.
Okay, they were playing Brazil, and Hope Solo had played the whole World Cup through it. It's either the Olympics or World Cup, I can't remember. She had played the whole way through, and then as they were getting ready to play Brazil, they basically started Scurry instead of Solo because Scurry was like 3-0 all time against Brazil or something like that. And then USA lost. Brazil like scored 2 goals early on them, and then that was the end of it. And I could be wrong. I think they asked Solo to go in and she said no. And it's a great story. But anyway, in the news afterwards, like when they were interviewing her, she said, she's like, it's not 2004 anymore. Like, I don't know why Brianna Scurry's in the game. Like, it's pretty crazy. You don't know any of this?
I don't know that
That's a YouTube
story.
hole you need to go down. That was pretty great.
And I'm guessing her response, it might not even have been verbal. It may have just been a couple middle fingers.
Yeah, possibly.
Because she's that kind of player.
Yeah. So again, I'm rooting for them. I don't think they're compensated enough, but the idea that they're not compensated fairly is insane.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't make sense. Weiss Markets.
Thank you to Wise Markets for sponsoring Midday Show and all the advertising they do. They're all over our site here at NorthcentralPa.com. For all your grocery needs, pharmacy, bakery, lottery, flowers, anything you need. Go to Wise Markets. They are all over the place throughout North Central PA and all over the state and adjoining states. Founded in Sunbury in 1912, over 100 years. And here they are. And they are our feature sponsor on the Midday Show group. And we love them immensely. And when did I buy the soda? I was not in there today. I bought it yesterday.
Okay.
I was in there yesterday.
Okay. You're there a lot.
A lot. I am there a lot. I like Wise Markets. We have $25 gift card, a $50 gift card, a $100 gift card to Wise Markets, to anyone. You can use them anywhere. Any Wise Markets. We also have the Break Room. We have Eat and Run Catering, and we have the Moon and Raven. We have other gift cards that we got to work up there because we got to work into the rotation. We got to figure that out. But thank you to Wise Markets for sponsoring us and all they do for the community. Hit Wise Markets. You can call ahead and order. You can probably order online, however that works. Wise to go. Yeah. And also for employment opportunities, they are hiring. Lots of people are hiring, but Wise Markets is hiring as well. For a chance to win, join the Midday Show Facebook group. Today's random winner is Jennifer Marino McCord. There you go. That's Jennifer Marino McCord. That's almost like that's close. That's almost a George G. Kitchens III. It's close. That does sound really Jennifer Marino McCord. That does sound kind of. It kind of rings. It does. It's got the syllable pattern. It's got the that is good. Unfortunately for her, she has been drawn out at a time that I could not be colder. There's a possibility I try to spin the wheel. It doesn't even go around. That's how bad things have been. But sooner or later, I got to hit one again just by dumb luck. And there it is. Moon and Raven gift card. Now I'm back. Moon and Raven. Congratulations to Jennifer Marino McCord. The Moon and Raven is delicious. You know what it is? It's the 332. The dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That's what it is. Jennifer Marino McCord. It's almost. That's what it is. It's poetically rhythmic. Yes. You know what? You're gonna make fun of me. I don't like the 2-1. I don't mind like the 1-1. So if you like iambic pentameter, you're good with that? Yeah, I'm good with that. Like if you have like Jim Smith, like that's fine. My least favorite is like Jimmy Smith. Like I don't like the 2-1. Yeah, I don't like the 2-1. There's something about it that doesn't. You see, I think if you have a one-syllable last name, I think you need a multi-syllable first name. Okay. See, I like the 1-2. You don't like the 1-2. See, like the 1-3 is clunky, like Mark Messina. Like it's clunky. Oh, so now my name's clunky. I'm just the 1-3 is. But Jeff Everett is smooth, but mine's clunky. I like it better. I like it better than if it was like Jeff Everett's Jeff Everett. The 1-2 is not bad. Like if it was. You don't think so? Like I'm just thinking of names like Bamonte Jones. But you don't think that works because that's 3-1. Oh, so you just don't like 2-1. 2-1, there's just something, it doesn't have like the swiftness to it. One of my favorite names of all time, you won't remember, this is probably even before your time. Memphis, University of. Yes. Had a basketball player named Baskerville Holmes. Yeah. You remember Baskerville? Well, I don't remember him, but I have heard of the name. Holmes, yes. That, to me, is one of the great names of all time, and I don't even know why, but it just flows. Good. Baskerville was his first name. Baskerville. Did they call him Baskerville? They probably called him B. I can't believe out on the court. Anyone see, the 3-1 sounds good. Baskerville Holmes. You don't like Jimmy Smith? Jones. You don't like Jimmy Smith? I just think it's like just kind of like you're never emphasized. Like you don't have enough ground to emphasize anything. Tony Lip. Nah. I don't know. I disagree with you. I disagree. We're allowed to disagree on the Midday Show. Quizzo, what did we do last week? We probably dominated. That's my guess. I don't even remember. Maybe Mackey remembers. I think we did okay last Sorry, we had him waiting here for a while. I hope he didn't have any place to go. John, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Are we holding you up from anything? We rambled. Sometimes
I was enjoying the name discussion. That was invigorating.
Thank you. So, go out and support the U.S. women's team, but, just be careful how much you support them.
Yeah, I mean that U.S. women's contract sounds very similar to what junior quizmasters get when they sign on with the company. So.
Yeah, we never agreed to that. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I signed anything.
No, you haven't signed anything yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Interesting. The 2019 Women's World Cup semifinal, U.S. versus I believe it was England. That was the first legal online sports bet I ever made. That game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you know? I just told this story to someone the other day. When I've been to, have you ever been to England?
No.
My mother-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, whatever, she is from England. So we've been over, and you just like drive down the street, and they have little shops, and they have betting parlors. And Tom Watson used to tell this story when he would go over for the British Open. He would always go in and put $50 on himself because he just thought it was so cool that he could bet on himself. And they're like, Tom, if you win the British Open, you're going to win millions. He's like, I know. I just thought it was cool that I could walk in myself and say, I want to put $50 on me. And so, yeah, it's been over there. It's been forever, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, but, here it is new. So there you go. And you won that bet, obviously.
I did. Yeah.
Which the odds were probably like 100 to 1. So you probably won like $1.
No. Actually, if I remember correctly, for some reason, the U.S. women's team was still positive money. I think I bet the money line. I think they were still like plus 120 for some reason because England was the host city. So I think they were getting, England was actually favored because they were playing against their home crowd.
And then we beat them 6-1.
I don't remember. I just know I won. Yeah, it was a great weekend.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, I don't really remember what you guys did last weekend. I stopped keeping track because
we'll just assume we kicked ass because that's pretty much what we do.
Pretty much. All right. Well, I got 5 new questions for you this week, so let's see how you do.
All right, we're ready.
Question number 1: Sunisa Lee, Grace McCullum, Jordan Childs, Jade Carey, and Michaela Skinner are the 5 lesser-known members of what team? There are six members to this team. They are the 5 lesser-known members.
Team's throwing me off.
To this team. Grace. Who would be
Is it
a women's team?
Would it be the gymnastics?
Oh, I know who it is.
Who is it?
It's the gymnastics team.
Yep.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, because the what's her name? Who's the really good one?
Simone
Biles.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be them.
Let's
That's
go
it.
with it.
We're going with the women's U.S. gymnastics team.
Yeah, Simone Biles is number 6. I'm sure we're going to get to know them all real well here in just a few short weeks. So
that was a good save because I would not have gotten that. Like gymnastics was my guess, but I wouldn't. Did you know that though? Like
no.
You recognize the names?
No. When he said 6, and I because I'm trying to think of who would have a team that has 1 female superstar. So then there we go. All right, we are hot. Let's go. Let's keep the fire burning.
All right. Speaking of hot, a hot shot crew is an elite group of people who work in what profession?
I know this.
What is it?
That could be your team name when you guys come to Quizzo next week.
The Hot Shot Crew?
That'd be good.
It's they made the movie about it. It's the guys that fight fires out in California. They're the Hot Shots. What was the movie with what's his name in? Wasn't it James Groden?
John Cena made a firefighting movie.
Who did?
John Cena, the wrestler. It was
no, that wasn't it. I can't remember what the movie's called, but I saw it. Yeah, but they're the guys that fight the wildfires. That's our answer.
Yeah, that's it. You guys got it. Firefighting.
Yeah. I did not know they were called Hot Shockers.
Yeah. My gosh, I can't think. Somebody type in and tell us the name of the movie. It's probably 3 or 4 years old.
In Entourage, the last movie he's going to make before Vince leaves is a firefighting movie.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? James Groden? I think it's Groden, isn't it?
I don't know.
Or John? No, that's John Gruden. I don't know.
2 for 2.
But I've seen it.
All right. 3rd question. What term for temporary stitching sounds like something you might also do to a turkey? What term for temporary stitching sounds like something you might also do to a turkey?
Gobble.
The only
Based.
is my only guess. Because, hold on, temporary stitching. Why would a baste be a temporary stitch?
The base is just something you put over it.
The only intelligent answer I have that goes with turkey is based. Because that, like, you could fry it, you could boil it, but you could do that with anything. Like, the only thing you baste is a turkey, isn't it?
I've never basted anything else. Have you?
Well, I've never basted a turkey, but I've heard of it.
Have you basted something else?
No, I have not.
Let's say based.
We're going based.
What else it would be based?
You guys are good. I'll tell you what, you are good. It's basting.
You didn't like gobble? I thought you
gobble.
I thought you'd want to go gobble.
All right.
All right. Let's go to question number 4. Charles Darwin is known for his theory of natural selection, which is the opposite of unnatural selection, also known by what 2-word term?
Natural selection.
The opposite of unnatural selection, also known by what 2-word term?
I just have, do you know it? Is that why you're looking at me like that?
No, but I have a story. So you can think out loud and then I'll tell you my story.
I don't have much right now. I just keep thinking predetermined, but I don't think that's not.
I think, and I wouldn't bet my life on this, but when my daughters and my one daughter's boyfriend played Quizzo the other night, I think they asked this question, but they were asking it while we were moving tables, and I knew that I didn't know, and that my daughters like immediately had a discussion about it. So I just mentally checked out of the question and carried my food and was worried about eating. So I think that I just heard this question like 2 weeks ago, yet I have no idea what the answer is because I didn't pay attention.
All right. Theory of natural selection, which is the opposite of unnatural selection, also known by what 2-word term? Like predetermined just feels too obvious, and I feel like it's not sciencey. Like I feel like it's not a science term.
I don't have an intelligent guess.
Do you want to say predetermined?
We can say whatever you want to say.
I don't think it's right.
We can say Jimmy Smith if that's what you want to say. I don't have a thing.
Is known for a theory of natural selection, unnatural selection. Something with cause.
This just goes to prove that if I was a better listener, we would be 4 for 4. I think maybe I could be talking out of my.
Can you think of a term with the word cause in it?
An effect? That's not it. First of all, it's 3 words: cause and effect. But it's
that's true. And wouldn't count though.
I don't know. I got no guess. Jeff says.
Let's. I like cause and effect better. Like that's more.
But it's not a 2-word term.
Well, no one's counting and.
He is.
Cause and effect.
It is a word. I don't know what to tell you.
It is a word. Like if we're gonna put an answer, like our answer is Hope Solo.
If I had to give you a 2-word answer, I'd have to use the word and to give the second word. If the effect and has no, it's not like
you would have put, then it would be a 3-word answer.
You can't say it's cause effect. You have to say it's cause and effect.
Correct. And then part of the question would have been it's a 3-word answer.
Predetermined final answer.
All right. No, that is incorrect. It would be selective breeding. Mark, did that sound familiar? Did you happen to hear that?
No, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you think that the scientific term makes sense. That's good.
I'm glad that you can't count to 3.
I can count.
Look at what I'm working with here.
You're that kid that counted every word when they were writing their essay in school.
It would be selective breeding, not selective end breeding. Selective breeding.
Yes, because selective's the adjective.
Yeah. Generally speaking, if the next question is and a word, I'm going to say yes, no matter what Jeff says, and I will overrule. All right, before we get to question number 5, give us your plug.
Yeah, well, Monday nights we're at Boom City in Williamsport at 8 o'clock. Tuesdays, that's today, Rusty Rail, 6 p.m., Mifflinburg, Bullfrog Brewery, 8:30 in Williamsport, and Otto's in State College is up and running again now, also at 8:30. Wednesdays, we got a new place starting tomorrow night, 505 on Washington Boulevard. We'll be starting Quizzo tomorrow. They will be going at 7 o'clock. And then Brickyard in Williamsport, 9 p.m. Thursdays, Town Tavern in Lewisburg, 7, and Three Beards Brewing Company in Sunbury, also at 7 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
We still got him?
We got him. Oh, there we go. You just froze
All right.
for a brief second. So tell me about Otto's in State College. I've never been there. Good food?
Yeah, it's a brewery very similar. I mean, the guy who started Otto's, I believe, was the original brewer at the Bullfrog Brewery in Williamsport. They had an original location, which is on North Atherton. It's now a medical marijuana facility. Their new location is a little bit farther up Atherton. It's huge. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, good food, great beer. And of course, trivia on Tuesday nights. Probably the second oldest establishment I have on the circuit after the
best. The best part about the new Otto's is there's like a back, like you don't have to go on Atherton to get to it, which is the best part. So you can actually come in from the backside, like towards the hospital side.
I've been thinking like there should be times that we should road trip, because now the place in State College, the place in Sunbury, which is called what again? I know you just said it.
Three Beards Brewing Company, which I was told, again, I don't host. One of my junior quiz masters takes care of that one for me. Last Thursday, there were 19 teams.
Wow.
It was crazy.
So we could go down. We could intellectually pummel 19 groups of people and just leave them there crying in their brewed beer.
Pretty much.
That would be.
Then you could stop at the original Wise Markets on Market Street.
We make a night of it. So yeah, we want to put together a road trip. Anyway, all right. Question number 5.
All right, this is it. Last question. The Swiss water process is used to do what? To what? The Swiss water process is used to do what? To what? So you're doing something to something else.
All I'm trying to think of smart alecky answers.
I thought they just made pocket knives. I didn't know they did stuff with water.
Well, no, they make good hot chocolate.
I don't know.
The Swiss water process is used to do what to what?
Create steam. What else can you do with water?
Well, yeah. Okay, you're onto something there, because steam powers things. So the Swiss water process could be used to power
locomotives.
The Swiss water process. There's also, now this is going to be stupid, and now I'm off on a tangent. There was something about, I saw a show on this, the ability for, like with ships, and when they were navigating, one of the problems was that they had nothing to keep the instruments like balanced, because the boats are always, and there was nothing for them to center on. So, and they took it, if I'm not mistaken, from like watch makers, and the mechanics of inside a watch they used to make nautical is the word, nautical instruments. So is used to do what to what. Now that it doesn't make sense with the to do verb kind of screws me up there, but yeah, I don't know. So there I just rambled on, and I don't think that's the right answer, but I do think historically they made nautical instruments from wristwatch, the technology, and that's how they could keep things consistent on its own. But I don't know, that I could be totally full of bunk. Not that that's ever happened before. Out of a guess, the Swiss water, to clean something would be awesome. Either to clean or to power. One of the two.
Was used to do what to what? Yeah. Steam to clean.
was used to clean.
Swiss water process. Maybe it was used to power stuff,
Maybe.
like a dam almost.
Or, yeah. It's either to clean or to power. So we have that much. The Swiss water process was,
I think the Swiss water
was
process
used to power Geneva.
is used to bring power to Geneva.
That's our guess.
That's our guess.
All right. You guys couldn't not be farther from the correct answer. The Swiss water process is used to remove caffeine from coffee.
Ah.
That's how they do that.
Huh.
So there you go.
You know what's funny?
I mean, I think there's got to be something wrong with you if you drink decaffeinated coffee. But
Up until right now, well, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I realize that 90% of society that drinks it is just for the drug in it. If you're drinking decaffeinated coffee, then you're just an addict. I have never in my life until now ever pondered how they got caffeine out of coffee.
Well, you know what's weird though is like when you order the bean and it comes caffeinated. So even if you're owning like a coffee shop, like you don't do the Swiss water process. Do you get what I'm saying?
Isn't there naturally caffeine in coffee beans?
Correct. But this is how you decaf it. But the point I'm making is when you order the bean, it already must be through this process. Like it's not like your local coffee shop or your whatever, like your local.
I understand what you're saying.
So yeah, that's
a very cool question.
Did not know that.
We could not have been as you're right. We could not have been further off. But yeah, I never thought about how they got the caffeine out. They kind of frack it a little bit, if you will.
Sure.
in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
The water goes in, it takes the caffeine out and leaves the rest.
That's how they get the caffeine out of the coffee in Blossburg. They frack it.
They frack it. There's a lot of water right now in Blossburg. Is Blossburg underwater?
No, Mansfield, Roseville.
More, okay.
Yeah. Maybe like tail ends of Covington. Canoe Camp, if you know where Canoe Camp is.
Canoe Camp sounds like they could use water.
Canoe Camp's one of the fastest growing. It was like in 2010, it was one of the fastest growing, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like town, maybe township. Like it was one of the fastest growing townships because it went from like having nothing. And then like within 5 years, it had like a Walmart, a Taco Bell, a Verizon, a Dunkin' Donuts, that.
There's a town called Canoe Camp?
It's not a town. It's like a
village, a borough.
Like a borough or like a township or something.
Where do those kids go to school?
They would go to North Penn Mansfield. Canoe Camp is the exit basically like between Covington and Mansfield. So it's when you're on Route 15 and you get off and there's the Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, Walmart, that whole conglomerate is like Canoe Camp.
There is a Walmart in Canoe Camp.
Yes. That's why I said it's crazy. It just like it was nothing and then it just kind of like all of a sudden like there has a lot of people know that exit. Like a lot of people know Canoe Camp for AJs. They have like the terrain vehicles and like tractors and stuff.
I would picture you get off at an exit called Canoe Camp and there's no like structure with walls. There's just pavilions with roofs and that's it.
That's because you're small-minded.
Apparently. And you're like, no, there's a Walmart there.
There's a Walmart there now with a Verizon. There used to be a cute little restaurant called Grandma's Kitchen and that is now gone. It just shut its doors. I think it was a COVID casualty with small business.
That's too bad. All right. Well, we were 3 for 5.
Good job.
And we were, and the two we missed badly.
Yes.
We were
not even close.
We were nowhere near. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
And we will be there. I mean, the odds of us not going 5 for 5 next week are now almost 0 because we're ready.
We shall see.
We'll be ready.
All right. Hey, thank you for your time, sir, and have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, John. All right. Not bad. You carried us. That was good. I should have been better.
Story of your life.
You got your 3 questions right. If I could have came through with 2 of them.
The Swiss water process is cool. That's a great question.
Yeah, I had no idea. Never heard of it before. A couple of people knew. Heather knew. Decaffeinates coffee. Deb Everett knew. Decaffeinates coffee. Joe was a little off. It makes their watches waterproof. Not quite. That was as good of a guess that you and I came up with.
We could have come up with that.
Yeah. So Spring said, "This is ridiculous. Your team got that right last week, so you were right."
Oh, they did get it right.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we got it wrong, but yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
No.
What was it? Not natural selection.
Selective breeding.
Selective breeding. Yeah.
Joe said this is what their table would sound like at the bar. That's
we would be
very
interesting.
True. The name of the movie is Only
Josh
the Brave.
Brolin. That's
Josh
it.
Brolin.
Only the Brave. Yes, Josh Brolin. I was close. What did I say? Bronin, Grunin, whatever.
Yeah.
John, Jimmy, Joe. I was right around it.
Yeah.
Only the Brave.
Yeah.
Yes. You should see it. It's a good movie. It's sad.
Isn't Jeff's name also 1 to 3? 1 to 3 is okay. 1 to 3 is fine.
No, see,
I don't like the 2 to 1.
You're 1 to 2.
I agree. Jeff Everett.
It is, if you pronounce it, it's Everett.
I don't know though.
But
Well, yeah.
nobody says Everett.
I think, well, like if I walked up and I said, "Hi, I'm Jeff Everett." No, I say Jeff Everett.
I'm Jeff Everett.
Yeah. No, it's Jeff.
I mean, I'm not Jeff Everett. You're Jeff Everett. But
You're right.
In practical purposes, it's a 2-syllable word.
Yeah, no, you're not incorrect. Okay. Anything else? Anything we've forgotten?
No, that's it. When do the women play?
Good question. I don't know the schedule. I've been so into the NBA finals, and also all the FIBA stuff's going on right now, like the under 19 and like all that, and then the Olympic exhibition stuff. So I'm still like in basketball mode. I know very little about like Olympic schedule.
Okay.
We'll have to.
I mean, I know they start here in a couple weeks, whatever, but yeah. So anyway, there you go.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Weiss Markets for being the title sponsor. Congratulations to Jennifer Marino McCord. She was the
who
winner.
has an acceptable name syllable pattern according to Jeff.
Listen, Jennifer Marino McCord. It's a good one.
It was good.
It's a good one. Congratulations to her. I believe she got a $25 gift card from
Moon and Raven.
Moon and Raven. So congratulations. And be sure to go to NorthcentralPa.com for all your local news. Again, if you want to see pictures of the flood, be sure to go there. You can check it out. We got a couple of stuff posted on Facebook and different things that you can see.
That's it. Sounds good. Well done, kid.
All right.
I mean, other than the questions where you did nothing.
Real quick, 10 seconds. Given a choice of a night out on the town, would Mark head out with Han Solo or Hope Solo?
Oh, without a doubt. Well, first of all, Han's dead. I mean, didn't you watch?
No, I did not.
Now, that's a very good question, because with both of those people, you're getting in a fight.
Sure.
Hope, because she's probably starting the fight.
Yeah.
Han, because he owes people money and they're chasing him.
Yes.
But either way, they're fisticuffs and police. Or in Han's case, like gunshots and Jabba the Hutt.
Fisticuffs is where I end the show at.
Wait, you like fisticuffs?
Fisticuffs? No, I loved fisticuffs. I want to end the show on a high.
All right, there we go.
So thank you guys for watching, and we will be back tomorrow.